Okay.
So I have a question for you, Danielle.
Okay.
What is your vision for your team next year? What do you want to see? Who do you want to be there? What things do you want to accomplish?
Okay. Well, this is probably a good question because we wrote out all of our goals for next year already.
Mhm.
When I can find it in my...
Is that memorized?
Well, I had everything written out, but
Mine's written out too, somewhere over on that table.
well, I'm just going to speak from the heart. So let's tell it like it is. Right now, there's nobody on this team call but me and you, and that is really disappointing. Everybody has a lot of stuff going on during the holidays, and it's expected that it's going to be harder. It's harder to work your business this time of year, but I always think December is more of an opportunity because it shows how bad you want it.
Yeah.
It shows how bad you're committed to helping other people.
And it's interesting because a lot of the rejections that we're facing right now are because people are talking about, oh, we don't have the money for this, I just paid a bill, or it's the holidays and I have to buy all these gifts. And it's like, in so many ways, this is supposed to be a joyful time of the year, and so much joy is being taken from it because gifts are becoming a burden instead of what it should be intended, a gift. And I think for us as a team, we have to look at what we have at our fingertips. What we do every single day is a gift. And that's worth giving to yourself, and that's what's worth giving to other people. Your challengers, your future challengers, your family. And I think that instead of being getting I'm feeling all this, like, what's the word? Like, everyone's feeling so bogged down by
resistance.
Yeah.
Well, I think also it's what you focus on expands. If you focus on, I haven't hit Success Club in 3 months, nobody's messaging me, my posts aren't getting any traction, you're right. You're not going to get any of that because you're focusing on the negative stuff. But if you focus on who can I help today, or who can I inspire today, or who can I reach out and make their day today, or who can I make smile today, it makes the business so much easier and less of a chore. Yeah. And that's kind of how I approach it. But then I also take the emotion out of it. Like a quote that kind of stuck with me this week, I just shared it, is be committed to your process without an emotional connection to the end result. So Success Club is a goal, but what's that process look like every day? I talk to you every day, Noelle, because I know I need that lift me up, and I need that push to get out of my head and just take action.
When I see Danielle texting me, like, her name on my phone, I'm like, oh, she's gonna make me do something. She's gonna call me out on my laziness right now. But it's what I need. I need that accountability. I need to know that there's someone watching me, even though she's not watching me. And I think that goes back to what you were saying, how everything that we're doing is so simple. Yet we make it so emotional and frustrating and difficult because exactly what you said, you put your heart, you're like putting your heart and soul out there, and you're waiting for someone to either accept it or crush it. And if we have that mentality, of course you're going to be burnt out. Of course you're going to be exhausted. And of course you're going to miss your goals because you're putting so much power. You're giving so much power to the person on the other side of the screen instead of being like, look, I have something amazing to offer. You can't knock me down because at the end of the day, if you say no, I'm still going to press play tomorrow, because I have a story and I know I've helped at least 5 people,
I think it's relating to them too. Having that go-to story of, hey, I've been there. Like, I don't know if you've seen my story on my posts, but like the one I share is I came out of graduate school. I had all the student loan debt. I had no idea how I was going to pay for it. It was like all the bills started piling in. I'd never paid for things on my own completely. And I didn't know what to do. And when I also felt really crappy about myself on the inside and outside, it was like I was desperate, So I know how you feel. I know where you've been. Let's figure out a way to make this work for you because why is now the time that you're ready to commit? Why is now the time that you are ready to take action in making a change and not letting your excuses get in the way anymore? And I think that goes with your fitness and your business. I think the reason that, Noelle, you and I have stayed the course number one, we've tweaked and adjusted when things don't work, like team calls. Clearly, we need to reevaluate that. But we always go back and commit to our fitness. And if you're not committed to your fitness and being in a mental and a physical transformation, your business is going to suffer.
Yep.
So like if you're just winging a workout, it doesn't work.
You can't rely on that 21-day fix transformation story you had a year ago to still help and inspire people, because you're on a different path than then. You know, like, yeah, I talk about why I started, but why I started, yes, it's keeping me here, but so much more about my life has changed since 2014. I mean, that was now almost 3 years ago. That's insane.
Just look at your lap.
Yeah. I mean, I have a child now. Yeah, you're starting to get antsy. I'm going to put you down. I'll be right back.
Well, so I wanted to kind of share our why and our vision on this team call. Even though I'm speaking to myself, I'm going to take the leadership role in this team and own that where we are right now is not where I want to be anymore. And only I have the power to control where I go. And so I know without a shadow of a doubt, next year is going to be better than this year. I can't say who's going to be there with me because you kind of asked that, Noelle, but
yeah,
you have to decide.
Like that cyber person, that like the type of teammates you want. It doesn't have to be like Schmidt and Donnie.
Yeah, I mean, the teammates I want are the people that are going to be doers, that are going to take action, that are going to learn, grow, develop, and then go out and do and spread the gift. It's just like what you were talking about, Noelle, like inviting to this business. Oh, shoot, I wrote down a couple good quotes today. Let me bring it up real quick from the National Wake Up Call, actually. The reason, if you're not sharing your business, you're not building it. And I was like, boom. Because I hadn't been inviting. I hadn't been sharing this gift and this opportunity that's done so much for my life. Keeping it to myself would be selfish. And so, yeah, I have big goals next year to be, an elite team and help 10 people become leaders and develop their businesses and grow from somebody who's not confident to like really feels beautiful in their own skin again, but also is making a difference in the world. That doesn't just come about. It starts with everything we do right now, embracing the health bet and inviting to that now, and committing to a fitness program through the holidays.
Yeah. No, sorry.
So I think my why, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I was going to say my why right now is that I'm sick and tired of our team being sick and tired. And I want to work with the people that want this. I want to work with the people who are truly want to help other people see a transformation. Everybody on this team has had a transformation at one time or another, but you have to be confident enough and selfless enough to go share that experience. And that's all coaching is. It's not hard, like you said, Noelle, but it takes guts and it takes grit and it takes getting dirty and doing the actions, doing the power hour every day when you don't want to. I mean, you and I aren't motivated every day, but like what keeps you motivated to do stuff, Noelle?
You. No, what keeps me motivated to do stuff is remembering that, how far I've come. Yeah, like Danielle and I have hit Success Club every single month since I don't know, 2 years, 24 months now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not that hard. And it blows my mind when I think about it, when I think about, some of the things that my coaches struggle with and that Success Club. And I'm like, that's the easiest thing that you can be doing, because all it takes is doing the power hour every day. And like you were saying, like not being emotionally connected to a no. If you let a no hold you back, then you're not going to be moving forward very far. You're just going to be, stuck in that, I sent out one invite one time and it was hard mode. Like, okay, if you were in school and you got a C on a paper, are you never going to write another paper again? No. And something that I think is really, because I could share like a bit about my story, my team, is that I my team's not where I want it to be, but I'm in a better place to lead the team that I want now. I had a lot more people who were, active this time last year. I had at least 3 or 4 coaches hitting Success Club. It was great, but I didn't understand the nuances of Premier or Elite. I didn't understand, what it took to, what type of coach I needed to be to lead those types of people. And they're not on my team anymore. So, and if I was someone who, when those coaches stopped, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't have a lesson to learn. I wouldn't have this great partnership with Danielle.
I think also success is the decision. And my team's probably heard me say this to the moon and back, but it really is the day we decided to go all in together and not allow our fears and doubts and anxiety and those voices inside our head hold us back. We started hitting Success Club every month. We started attracting coaches to our teams. We started seeing wins because we decided that there was no other option. And I think every coach that doesn't hit Success Club consistently hasn't made that decision. They haven't committed and jumped into the freezing cold water. They're just still tiptoeing around and letting external things control their business.
And I think, too, we have to say, for those who are hitting Success Club, you will face, it's a roller coaster. You're going to have highs and lows. And, if you hit a low, that doesn't mean you have nothing left to offer. It means you need to tweak. You need to rebuild. You need to, figure out areas in your life and in your business that aren't that strong, that are weak. And make those weaknesses your strengths. That's exactly what Danielle and I did. My first month as a coach, I hit Success Club, which was just 3 people. That was my goal. Oh, I want to pay for Shakeology. I hit it because I was coming off of that. I had this great transformation. It was my first time. No one I knew had ever heard me talk about it before. So people were interested in it, and they were curious about this new thing that Noelle's doing. They're not with me anymore. Some of them are gone. And I've had to figure out how to tell my story in ways that would, attract people who aren't just married military spouses, because I'm more than that. But in the beginning, that's what I thought I was, and that's what I thought I had to say all the time. And I mean, Danielle, you could touch on that too, about who were the first people that you got to say yes in this business, and who are the people now? Do you know them?
Well, that's the thing. It's, I had my close friends kind of rally around me when I first started. And so it was easy wins. It was easy Success Club. And that made this business look easy to me. And then I didn't hit Success Club for 2 months. So I realized, I want this, I decided I wanted it. And so I started studying. I think for me, I get on YouTube every day and listen to some type of training. And I don't just listen to it. I take something from it, I write it down, and I apply it. So today made me think of not being attached to the outcome, not caring about. I totally realized, Noelle, we got on at 8 and not 8:30.
Okay. Okay, well, this is good. We have 10 more minutes to see what happens.
Wow. I was thinking of the coach call tomorrow.
I moved my team calls to 5 or 8.
8:30. Well, this is a good conversation. I'm really liking it. So should we do it?
Yeah, keep going. Keep going. We have 10 more minutes.
So I think that this is and I even wrote my team page, see you in 15. Nope. This is a good way, because everybody that I sign up now is either people that I've been talking to for 6 months to a year, a long time they've been watching me, or I literally don't know them.
Yeah.
They went to Virginia Tech, or they're from Doylestown, from my hometown, but I've never met them. We clicked because they knew I was genuine. Sharing live videos pretty frequently, I feel has helped me connect my story to a lot more people, because they see I'm a real person, not just sharing pretty pictures. But then also I share my workouts every day. They see that I'm consistent, and that may be annoying to people, but that's the people I don't want to work with. That's the people that aren't ready. So I almost think when you step outside your comfort zone and you commit to something every single day, so like fitness is kind of my jam, so that's what I embrace. For you, Noelle, like you're all embracing the mom life now. So everything that you're posting is around that based on if you're looking for challengers or you're looking for coaches. I know something Noelle, like I push her a lot because I'm like, Noelle, you realize what a gift it is for you to be home with Nolan when most moms are going back to work now. Like imagine if tomorrow I said, you know what, Noelle, you can't you can't stay at home anymore. You have to go to work. What if Ryan said that to you?
I would beat him up.
But so that's what like you need to post more about, right? So I think it's checking ourselves a lot and looking at what we're sharing, because that's just the first little snippet.
Danielle, is that I think that there's a difference between us right now and some of our coaches on our team, because we are fighting. We have a desperation behind our why. Like you want this to be your full-time life. You want Beachbody to be your full-time job. And I need Beachbody to be my full-time job because as a military spouse, I don't have family to rely on to watch my kids. You know, like a lot of my friends who I see going back to work, their parents live right down the street. You know, they can just be like, hey, Mom, will you watch, you know, Emma for, 6 hours while I'm at work? I don't have that luxury. So someone who would watch my kid would be a stranger. And that's not okay to me. Okay to me. And so that's my why. Like I'm desperate to make this work for my family. And so far that desperation has developed into this crazy passion. And that's why I'm still here. Before I had Nolan, it was so that I could spend time with Ryan. I was working these crazy hours. I wouldn't even see him until like early in the morning when he'd be going to work, and I'd still be sleeping in for 2 more hours before I had to go to work. So I think we need to find a way, Danielle, to help our coaches to see that like this is possible, and that the reason why it's so easy to walk away is because this wasn't that important to them, or the why that they thought they had really wasn't a why. It was just like a nice maybe, what if.
Well, I think also like being an entrepreneur, there's no guarantee, right? Like I go to work every week for 40 to 50 hours and I get my paycheck every 2 weeks. Always the same amount, always expected. I know it's coming in the bank and it's predictable. With Beachbody, I don't know what's going to happen each week. Some weeks it's super high, like almost hitting 4 figures a week. Some weeks it's like barely scraping into $200, which, now is huge for me, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, I think.
Can you hear me?
You froze or I froze.
My internet went unstable. But yeah, like this year to almost hit 4 figures in a week coming from somebody who just wanted to pay for her Shakeology for the month is like insane to me. And I actually hit it my birthday week, which is kind of
yeah, you did,
like on vacation, not doing any work. So I think it's a risk, but with great risk comes great reward if you put in the work.
And I think that we're talking about inviting, and I think that inviting can be scary because you were mentioning that it takes grit, it takes bravery. And my child's whining. Hold on, I gotta pick him up.
Okay. This is what happens when I hang out with Nolan and Noelle on the regular.
He gets jealous.
Mm-hmm.
It takes grit. Like right now, I just got a message from someone saying that, like, I think she'd be awesome. She's like a fitness trainer and everything, but apparently she's already been on coach Q&As before, and it's just not for her. So I could easily, like me a year ago, would have just been like devastated and like heartbroken about it. But you know what? That just means there's room for someone else who does want this, and that's good and that's empowering, I think.
Well, and you can still be her friend. Just because she's not interested in coaching right now doesn't mean she's not going to be a great friend. And I think that's the difference between our teams and maybe some other coaches out there that like, you're going to still be their friend. You're going to still build the relationship because we're a family. We're not just here for the sales. And when you show that, like, especially a prime example, a year ago, you and I would have gotten a no from somebody and we would have just never talked to them again. And then we would have messaged them again.
Scared.
We would have messaged them again the next month with an invite again.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you didn't. What did you give them to make them think that you really wanted to help them? You didn't. You made it seem like you wanted it for yourself. And so you're inviting again and again each month. And sometimes I have to check my messages and say, okay, did I invite them last month? Did they answer me? And if the answer is no, then I need to work more on the relationship before I invite them again. Unless there's somebody that's like, you know, they really are just giving you a hard time and they just, you know, sometimes you just go with your gut and it's not a one size fits all conversation. I feel like you have to kind of trust your instinct a little bit. Cause like I think of Amy, you know, I invited her 12 months straight with sometimes no answers, but I've known her for a really long time. I knew her personality and I just knew someday she would say yes. I'm sure you have people like that.
She flat out ignored me. And we laughed about it because she admits that she was ignoring me.
Who is that?
Megan.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how we didn't ignore Sam that long, but like you and I were just such in a desperate place that we were just ready to say yes at the time when she was ready to start. It just kind of, she got lucky. But, you know, it's got to be the right time, right place for them. And it's when you realize it's not about you, especially the way you post, the way you message, it's a really selfless job. And that's why I think recognition is such a big part of our teams because we both love that. And we don't get that much, you know, nobody's there cheering you on as you're cradling Nolan right now. Ryan's not there to say, hey, Noelle, let me help you out. You know, nobody's here cooking me dinner. So if that can be the one gift in our life that is celebrated, you know, why wouldn't you share that?
Yeah.
Because other women need the same thing.
Job of that, Danielle. Like, we need to really make sure that we're once a week celebrating our team.
This is true because, you know, it's always the little things, you know, sending a voice message at the least unexpected time. And I always like the idea of who can I make smile today, just out of the blue, you know? Like you.
I mean, and I challenge you and I to do that. Like to make a hey, just, it doesn't have to do with any sort of recognition, but just the fact that they're your friend. And I actually saw this last, one of those, on this day posts. And I guess last year, I think yesterday, I wrote a post just about you, just to make you smile. Why don't I do that? I need to do more of that. It was it was a random act of kindness day, write about your friend, and I wrote about you. I don't know.
It's because we don't have any more pictures together that we haven't already used.
Okay, February we will.
Maybe you should just not have a kid so that we can have pictures.
What does that supposed to mean? Someone's
missed out on two big events where it's picture worthy. I feel like I didn't take enough pictures. Oh, true. I didn't take enough pictures without you.
It's all right. That's why in February I'm gonna bring change of clothes when I see at the leadership. Even if it's one day, we're gonna have different outfits.
Oh, heck yes.
At least 8 different outfits. We can have the same bottom, but different shirts.
Okay. I like the way you roll.
Me that says I'm with her. I'm with you.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
That's funny. But yeah, Noelle, we should get back to I still have the schedule up here that we made. It was Monday is goal setting and recruiting day. Tuesday is listen and take notes to the National Wake Up Call. Wednesday is social media and graphics. Thursday is get educated, learn a new platform. Friday is publicly recognized team. Saturday is challenger celebration day, and Sunday is meal prep, goal setting, success partner chat.
Yeah,
We made that schedule a long time ago. We just never
that was before Nolan was born.
stuck to it.
You I know I have that written down, but can you take a picture of that for me?
Yeah, I'll do it right now. I was so glad I looked at my phone because I almost forgot to load my new, like, when you get a new phone, it erases all of your music off. And I teach pump tomorrow morning, and I thought that, but it has the new jack, so you can't do an aux cord.
Wait, you got a new phone, right?
Yeah, I got it this weekend.
I got a new phone too. iPhone 7.
Yeah, we talked about this.
No, but I thought you got it. I thought you were getting it for Christmas.
No. But is that converter for an aux cord?
That the little thing is so that you can put your headphones in it.
Will it work for an aux cord though? That's what I'm nervous about.
Aux cord.
Because at the gym, like, it has like a cord to go into the stereo.
Yeah, it should. It's just like, how would you use that before? You'd stick it into
your headphone jack, yeah.
It works the same.
Okay. Well,
I might iPad.
Yeah, I might upload it on my iPad too.
Backup.
Yeah, I think that this has been a good chat. Even though we totally got our times wrong.
It's okay. End the recording.
Yeah, it's good content.
Yeah.
What else?
Oh, you want to keep recording? Oh, sorry.
Well, we'll give it a few minutes. What else have you seen, like, me go through tough times or like obstacles and me push through it? Like, how have I done that?
Well, this whole recognition thing that you're in the midst of, rank advancement has been a big obstacle. And I've seen you put more focus on your team right now, which I think is something that last year we felt like we were working so independently, and I've seen you really step up for them. But I guess if we're thinking more like behavioral things, like being in your business, it's number one, doing your power hour, but also the fact that you're not working every single day. And I think that's kind of a misconception for a lot of people on your team and people on my team, is that I think that, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm working all the time. And that's just not true, because this is something that our coach talked a lot about, is that you have to be building, like, this should be giving you freedom, not taking it away. And for someone like Danielle, who actually works a full-time job and then comes home and does Beachbody, like, you need to refuel. You need to recharge your battery. And just on Friday, I remember you were like, I just need to rest. And and this is something I talk about with I post a lot about, is that you have to be, you can't be on empty for your family. Like, as a mom, like, I can't be on empty for him, or else I'm going to be impatient. I'm going to be frustrated. Everything's just going to be, every little thing that he does is going to be like the worst thing in the world. And that type of attitude will reflect in your conversations if you're working at such a high frequency without any real sense of recharge. So I think that you do a really good job of that, and I don't know that your team realizes that when you say, hey, I'm doing a power hour, it's a power pocket actually, or that you actually took Friday off so that you could rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And what Noelle means by that is, like, you guys still see me post. Like, that's something I never stopped doing, because that's building your business when you're not there. It's telling your story. It's going through the actions. Amy said she's about to hop on.
Okay.
But it's finding those ways to fit it into your life. And that's the beautiful thing about Beachbody, is it can fit in anytime you want. So, if it's not working, I wanted to make sure we're on the right idea. Yeah, we are.
Danielle, is that, like, what you're saying is, like, yeah, what I meant by power pockets is, like, yes, you're always posting, you're always working out, you're always drinking your shakes, but like you're still probably talking to a little bit of people throughout the day. You know, you might not be like sitting down like erasing your inbox or sending out invites or following up with people, like, but you are engaged still. And I think that's something that a lot of new coaches and even seasoned coaches don't really understand, because they think they have to be on all the time. When it's like, these are your friends. Like, you should have friends that you're talking to. You should be in a relationship with people, and you should be posting about your life, because that shows that, hey, I'm still here. Especially for your challengers. They're the ones who are seeing your Facebook or your Instagram the most.
That's really true. I wanted to make sure I okay. Just making sure I posted the right link. No, I think that's so true, because it's like you have to always fill your cup first. And so, you know, there's going to be days where you hear 10 no's and you just take it really personal, and you feel super rejected and you feel super down. And that's why personal development is such a big part of Beachbody. And when I feel myself struggling, I don't always want to do personal development. You know, it's not always like, ooh, I can't wait to do this. But I like know my mind needs it. I know that it's the time when especially I need to plug in when I don't need it, or when I think I don't need it. Just texting Amy real quick.
Yeah.
But it's hard as you get higher. You know, I don't have control over my business. You know, I don't have control over who goes diamond tomorrow. I don't have control over who signs up tomorrow. I don't have control over who stays an active emerald tomorrow. The only thing I can control is myself and leading by example. And that's why I put myself on the Success Club board every single week, because I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to work harder than anybody else in my team, because I want to set the pace. It's not to be like, hey, look at me. It's to say, hey, this is where we're running.
Yep.
I see Joe is on. Hey, Amy. So Noelle and I totally came on at 8 o'clock. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Noelle and I totally came on at 8 o'clock because we were like totally messed up, and we've been talking and recording for the past 30 minutes. So that's how it's going tonight. But we are just going to jump right back in because we've been having a good combo. I just wanted to, first off, we're going to talk about like getting back to the why and like our definition of success and what that's kind of looking like right now. But just so you know, next, what did I write down looks like that's not the right thing.
Hey, Danielle, do you want to stop recording and then record again? Can you do that? Or this is going to be like some super long call.
Whatever. I don't care. I'll just keep it going. We, just so you know, the health bet's coming up, and we got to start talking about that now. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I know you had a lot of success with that, Amy, in, when did we do that? July? August? Something like that. So that's something that we don't want to underestimate going through the next few months. But I wanted to get Noelle on here because we've gone through a lot. I feel like I'm getting hot now. We've gone through a lot together, and I haven't had her on in a while. And we've just been talking a lot about like where our teams are and where we want to be, and you know, getting back to that why. We kind of talked about that over Thanksgiving, and finding that inner passion and drive that pushed you through to get here, and, you know, asking yourself why you're still here. So Noelle, you want to kind of...
Yeah, I mean, when I look back on like our personal journeys as coaches, I mean, we always joke about how like, oh, we wouldn't be here without each other. And that's really true. And I think that's still true, obviously, today as it was in 2015 when we became Success Partners. Because we became Success Partners like right before Summit. No, I'm thinking, because when we did the push group, we were still kind of like each other's competition.
True. Okay.
I
So like
think
some,
when you and I actually started working together and actually saw like success in that, that was when we decided that we wanted to go to that party. And we had to have some outrageous Success Club numbers to get there. And we were just like, I don't know why we thought this party was going to be the best thing ever, because it really wasn't.
well, it was still fun. So just so you know, Amy, at Summit, because she's going, they have a Success Club party, and basically it's usually hitting, like this past year, it was just hitting Success Club 5 the 2 months prior to Summit. So it's like nothing outrageous. But for us in 2015, it was hitting 25 Success Club points between the 2 months prior. So they like lessened the requirements.
I guess the reason why I said it wasn't that big of a deal is because, number one, we were way overdressed and super uncomfortable, and it was so hot.
It was so hot.
So it was just like, oh, I just want to be back in the hotel room. One of those.
Also, we stayed in a hotel that was literally straight uphill.
A mile. It was literally a mile up a hill, and we were wearing wedges. I think you were wearing heels.
Yeah.
Everyone was wearing like shorts and t-shirts, and we're like in these like nice dresses. We're like,
hey, better to be overdressed than underdressed. And in New Orleans, we're going to be inside, so it's going to rock.
Well, also, we took really great pictures.
Yeah, it's all that matters.
All for the picture. But hey, buddy. What was your question, man?
Well, you were talking about how we started working together as success partners and like made the decision to go all in.
Yeah. Something that Danielle and I mentioned, we were talking about earlier when we were talking to ourselves, was how, like, what is it that's keeping us here? And yeah, we can say like, oh, it's a vision of knowing that like there are people out there who are just as capable as we are, who are, you know, making 6 figures, and we want to be those people. But what it comes down to is that we don't want someone dictating our lives anymore. You know, with Danielle, she's got a really great goal of, you know, becoming her own boss, really being that person. Hey, bud.
No one gets jealous of me.
He does. And then for me, I was telling Danielle that, like, I have friends who have kids and who are starting to go back to work now. Their kids are the same age as Nolan. And, you know, they're fine with it because they have their family there. They have their mother-in-laws or moms there to watch their kid while they're at work. I don't have that luxury. So if I were to go back to work, it would be a stranger watching my kid. A stranger seeing all of his smiles, seeing all of his firsts, doing all those things with him, and that's not okay to me. And a lot of that is, you know, I've had a lot of choices taken from me. You know, that's your job. Okay, I don't want that to be. I don't want to pay you. But like that's my heart right there. You know, like. I don't get to be with my husband. Like, that's also taken from me. So if I can be with Nolan 24/7 as much as I can, that's what I'm fighting for. And I think that's where, you know, whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that, like, that hurts your heart, if it's, you know, the fact that, you know, your husband works a 9-to-5 job and you're like, dude, I don't want to be the stay-at-home parent. I want him to be the stay-at-home parent. So I'm going to work my ass off to get him to stop working so that I can keep working. That's kind of also my story too. But that's another time for another day. Whatever it is that you want that only you can control, that's what your why is. That's what you have to fight for, because in 20 years, you want to be looking back saying, I let someone else run my life and I wish I'd done something differently.
Well, I think the why evolves too. Like, I know for Amy, like, she came into this wanting the fitness and the health journey, and you wanted to make those changes. Well, now you've made those changes, and yes, you still have goals with that. Yes, you still have, hey, Nolan. Yes, you still have progress to make, and I know that sometimes it's frustrating because it's always when you get to the end, you're like, oh, I'm so close. But that's kind of the fun part, you know? That's where you get to prove to yourself how gritty you want to get, you know? But your why has to evolve because you've already accomplished losing 46 pounds. You know, you've already done what a lot of people won't do. So how does that why, you know, change? Like, for me, obviously income's a big driver, but I was talking to Noelle, like, I'm very driven by recognition. I was just like telling her how Rachel Cleo messed up and didn't realize that I hit Success Club All-Star Legend and Success Club 10 All-Star. And it's so annoying because it's so little, but it's so silly. But those are the things that just like, you know, make me feel good. And that's why I recognize our team so much, because I think that most of us don't get that. And that's not like your why or anything. That's just something, you know, nice to build the culture. But the why in the beginning was just to pay off my Shakeology, just like it was for you. My why now, obviously looking at my job, is much more, okay, I got to look at my income and get serious. Like I just started doing my expenses last night. I got to get serious this year about tracking what my in and out is with my money and understanding that more and being a master of financial growth. And so I'm going to be starting to put that into my story as I share, because that's part of my why now. I can't necessarily say that I want to leave my job publicly, but I can say, hey, I'm getting serious about budgeting, you know, and maybe I'm going to do a free group about budgeting this year, because that's a big part of my why. And I know a ton of my friends suffer from, oh, I can't go to New York because it's so expensive. I mean, how many times have you heard that? So I think the why you have to sit down and think about it too. Like it can't just, you know, like I rate goals every single month, but when Noelle and I get on the phone and talk about it, she'll be like, you know, why is that important to you? Well, just to check off a box doesn't really do it, right? I think one thing that you guys noted in the team page was like, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it consistently. You got to get deep, got to get deeper. You know, what's the thing that's driving you? What's the thing that is holding you back right now? Why is that holding you back? You know, thinking about your journey and how far you've come, and not letting those doubts hold you back on thinking of, I can't go any further. Because that, you can't. You got to break through those mental blocks. I get them all the time. I just do it anyways. A quote I shared with Noelle was, be committed to your process without an emotional connection to the end result. I was like, wow, that's pretty powerful. Because if I sent out 10 invites today and every single one was no, does that mean that dictates perfect timing, Noelle? Does that mean that dictates how I send the rest of my messages? Heck no. I'm not that end result of who we got here. Joey? Hey. But that doesn't dictate how I feel about my business. For me, you got to celebrate those no's, because that means you were taking action and you don't care about the end result. No. You just care about building the friendship.
No means not now.
Exactly.
Yeah, Amy, you're a living proof of that.
So I think, you know, maybe you can type in the chat box a little bit of maybe where you're struggling with your why right now, or where you feel like you're getting roadblocks that we can kind of speak to. I think that would be helpful.
Did you not talk on her thing?
I think she's with Joey, so I don't know.
I wasn't sure if it.
It's totally cool. But
chat box.
What was that?
You can't open the chat box.
Oh, you're good.
So you have to read out.
We can hear you talk.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. So I think, you know, it takes like I'll let her type for a minute and then speak. I don't want to distract her. Of course, when Nolan's quiet.
He did great in the first 30 minutes of our talking.
Well, that wasn't the plan, 30 minutes, but that will be tomorrow.
I know. Ryan was supposed to be home today, but...
Yeah, it's late.
Can you read that out? Because I can't see it. You only see the first couple of words.
Yeah, she said, so I would say my biggest roadblock is sitting down and just doing it. I have good intentions, and then after work, I feel like I have to turn into wife role.
Yeah.
Noelle, you can speak to that 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because guys are so sensitive, and if we don't give them our full time and attention, they They get really bitter. It's crazy. Man, if this is our women should rule the world. Yeah, they taste it, but they can take it. But really, I mean, for me, I totally know how you feel because some days I will let no one run my day, and it's 4 o'clock, and Ryan gets home, and it's like, oh yeah, I gotta do beachbody stuff. And he's like, well, what have you been doing all day? Blah blah blah. I'm like, I've been working my full-time job. No one. But one thing that he tells me is that he really respects it when I say, hey, like if he sees me on the phone and he's like, wait, we're watching an episode. Why aren't you like watching the episode? And I'm like, I'm talking to someone. And it's like, well, why didn't you tell me you're talking to someone? But then I wouldn't know. Then we wouldn't be watching this episode, whatever. So all that being said, for me to tell him, hey, I just need 15 minutes to just respond to 5 messages, or I need 30 minutes to just sit down and get, half of a power hour done. And then I can give you my full undivided attention. That I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, what could I be doing? And giving you less of me. Like if you just give me 30 minutes, I will be fully present. That's really helped a lot. And like, something that Danielle talked a lot about is throughout her day, she does those little power pockets. So spending 2 minutes just friend requesting as many people as you can in 2 minutes, making it a game, clearing out your inbox, doing 5, follow-ups a day, just 5. That's possible. Sorry, he is gripping my hands. Like when you're sitting on the toilet, he's not going to distract you in there. You're like, I'm pooping. Pooping for 10 minutes. Hey, that happens, okay? Sometimes it takes a while. Respond to messages. But the number one thing is just asking and being like, hey, can I just have 15 minutes to respond to this person? Or I'm in the middle of possibly selling a challenge pack, so I'm going to be kind of preoccupied. Brian's really received very well to that. He doesn't like it when I'm like hiding it, if that makes sense. I'm pretty sure my son is pooping in my lap. Not like out of his diaper, but
yeah, I think it's communication. I try to be like, obviously on a regular basis I don't have somebody else to answer to, but I try to be leery of this. I almost like to set time, like stress time, like pressured time that I can only get stuff done. So like I'll come home during lunch just to get myself out of the office and have a strict 30 minutes where it's just go time. It's just get as many as I can get done in that time. And a lot of that is just like having Evernote open with my invite for that month and copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. It doesn't have to be anything special. You just want to start the conversation. So, I mean, I share my invites with all you guys. You know what they look like. It's no big secret. But I think it's adjusting it month to month, so you're not sending the same one over and over again. And then just sending it to as many people as you can. And just simply saying like a good one for me lately for a follow-up. This is how I get 60 follow-ups every day. Hey girl, how are you? How was your Thanksgiving? Would love to hear all about it. Let's catch up this week. So simple, easy, copy, paste. Builds your Facebook affinity, gets a lot of connections going. And if you send 20 out, most likely 5 people are going to message you back. But that doesn't mean that you sit and answer that person that sent a message back. Like only taking your follow-up time for your follow-up time.
I have a question, Amy. What is your lunch hour or lunch period like? Do you have lunch?
She's nannying, so probably varies.
Flexible? Okay. I guess I didn't know what Amy does. So you're a nanny, and so like, what time do the kids go down for naps and stuff? Like, what do you do during that period? Do they nap? No one does one.
No one does power pocket naps.
He does. I watched 3 girls, 5, 7, 1-year-old. Okay, so you kind of like eat when you can, right? 5-year-old doesn't. The 2 younger ones. Gross. All right, so you have mom life. That's your life. Your mom. So like 1:30ish. Do you have? Is a 5-year-old very demanding of your time, or is she pretty like back and forth?
Hit or miss.
No, what are you doing? Do you find that you can do power? Have you done power pockets throughout the day?
This is testing how fast she types.
So one thing that Danielle and I have been working on is literally setting a timer. And you can even make it a game with your 5-year-old. Be like, hey, if for 5 minutes, how long would it take? How many red items can you list on this piece of paper? And set a timer with her and be like, all right, 5 minutes, you have to look around the house for all things red and write them down. And then in that time, start friending people, all right, let me read what you said. All right.
I think that's a great idea, Noelle. Getting her involved. It's kind of like getting Joey involved, getting her involved in a fun way that makes it a game where.
I know what you're talking about, girl. When he takes a nap, I'm like, oh, I could finally maybe do some dishes, clean the bottles. Yeah. So, before you do that, those dishes will get done at some point in some way or capacity because you do not want to leave that house with dirty dishes there. So you could easily be like, hey, 5-year-old, read this book while I do the dishes. Just as easily as you could say, hey, 5-year-old, read this book while I'm, on the toilet messaging people, but playing with that timer. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I loved trying to beat the clock to do stuff, or hey, can you read this book for 10 minutes without interruption? I think the power pocket is going to work for me. Yeah. But seriously, trusting the timer. I have, hold on, let me show you.
I told Noelle he looks so different every time I see him.
I have this whiteboard as a reminder of how simple it is. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and tonight I'm going to just clear my inbox because I want to. Because in so many ways, when you actually stick to a timer, you're like, whoa, that's it? I feel like I need to do more. And maybe you find that you have time to do more, like create a post or talk to 5 more people. So the thing too that Danielle and I always say is when when we feel stuck in our business or conversations aren't moving, we know that we need to be literally we need to go back to the basics. We need to do a power hour. And it's amazing how when you kind of let go of the pressure that you have on those 4 people that you're talking to that are seeming to be really responsive, when you let that pressure from them go, they start responding, or new people come out of the woodwork.
This was the other thing I was going to ask is what program are you committed to right now, Amy? You're not playing right now. Okay. Yeah. Start talk. I don't know what that is. Is it in a group or something?
Funny.
Chloe, I've been off Autumn's regimen lately. Is it in BOD? Oh, cool. Okay, so, but is it one workout or you go through all of them? You go through all of them. Cool. So I would, use that to dial in because if you're not committed to your fitness and your nutrition, you're off in your business. And I check myself all the time with this. I also go back and look I know why I'm not at Success Club right now. It's because in August and September, I wasn't hitting as high of numbers in my conversations. I just wasn't connecting to as many people as I had been in November. And that's why my numbers were really good. So obviously you can't change the past, but what you can change is dialing into what you're doing right now and sharing the shit out of it. Talking about that experience of going back to the fix. What did that do for you? How did that bring your confidence back? What is the feeling of the girl that you are now, but the feeling of who you were when it was day one. Like, go back to our message and look at what you said and remind yourself of that girl again. You know what I mean? Because you want to speak to her every day. And we talk about this, you know it, but sometimes just hearing it again, it's like, I gotta speak to that girl. Because the more I speak to her, the more she comes out, the more she reaches out and sends me a message. Yeah. The more she stops watching and she just finally like says, hey, whatever you're doing, I need to do it. Sign me up.
I mean, and Amy, I don't know if we talk about this, but like, talk about the fact that you didn't respond to Danielle for so long. And why? Was it because it just didn't seem like it was for me? There's a reason. Was it because you didn't want to admit that you were feeling stuck? Was it because you thought Danielle was so cool that you just couldn't get to her level? What?
Not that cool. Sorry to disappoint.
Because it's just like Danielle said, like, you're speaking to who you were was so ago, you know? And the other thing I really wanted to mention too was that, like, since we have you on the call, and I don't want to be like talking at you, I feel like we are because we can't talk back, but you are going to face some highs and lows in this business. But if you keep showing up, those lows aren't going to feel so low. It's just going to feel like, all right, let's regroup. Because at this point, I'm a diamond coach when I know I shouldn't be. Because in those months that Danielle was talking about, I took the gas off of the second business that I was running because I really couldn't juggle it at that point. And because of that, now that second business is not a diamond anymore, it's emerald. And me a year ago would be devastated and like be like, oh, why am I here? I can't do this business. I'm not a good coach. But I know exactly what it was that held me back. And I'm working that much harder this month to not let that happen again. And so whatever it is in your business that you're not happy with, I mean, Danielle says all the time, like, you're totally in control of it, but you're not alone in it, if that makes sense. We've all been there. We've all faced devastating blows in our business, in our personal lives. And I think that's the thing that we need to remember as a team is that we're a team. We're a community of people who have been there, who will get there. So I hope that encourages you.
Well, I think another big part, Amy, of your commitment to this whole thing was coaching, because you knew it was going to hold you accountable. And I think that's such a big key for you to share privately and publicly. You know, you didn't just commit to the program because you knew that if you just did that, you probably wouldn't have done it all the way, right? I mean, I'm just kind of guessing here, but that's why you chose to coach. And so I think enabling that to come out a little bit more is going to help you attract the people that want the same things you do, you know, to have that supplementary income to grow a family in the future without the stress of that, and to pay it forward by sharing your experience, like the raw, the good, bad, and ugly. Like, speak to that too, because you're really great at sharing your transformation and your journey, but share about the commitment to the coaching and why that was so important. And I promise you will find more of that in the next 3 to 4 months.
I want to say one more thing, like kind of going back to like getting your husband on board. You're sitting here for an hour talking to us. He's on board with that. You know, like that you're doing it. And if you can do this on a Monday, then having 15 minutes of uninterrupted time on your phone or on your computer, I think he'll understand.
I think when Amy has, when you've also tracked your income and shared that.
That's okay. It happens. I wish my hair.
Cover my eyes.
Oh, girl, I understand. I had to do that last night. They need it.
Hey, if it's going to bring you joy and passion and give you everything you want, Like, I mean, imagine getting all of that and being a 5-star diamond next year.
And you might have a baby.
Talk about squad goals. Yes, squad goals. That's what I'm saying. Add to the squad. Mm-hmm. But I think it's really just reconnecting to that. Exactly. Your why. I was just going to ask you, so how do you feel like your why has evolved? You know, how is it more meaningful to you now than it was when you started? What's going to be the thing that drives you into 2017 differently than this year?
You know, you were saying you're sweaty. I'm sweaty now.
It's because we get worked up. Whoa.
It's been looking. Mom keeps calling me.
Yeah, my mom always does that.
Do you have that new ringtone on your phone that's like ding, 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 ding? It's like not a ringtone.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. Okay, here. Okay. Do you see yourself in Nolan in you?
I asked Noelle before you got on. I said, Noelle, what if Ryan came home tomorrow and said you had to go to work? How would you feel?
I would send him to Amy.
But those are the kind of things you gotta evoke out of you in your story every day, because that's connected the people that Noelle wants. And I mean, she's still not where she wants to be. And the funny thing is, Noelle and I have kind of reversed back and forth. Every month we say we reverse roles, but I used to watch Noelle and be like, dang, why can't my team be like hers? Like, Noelle hit diamond 4 to 5 months before me. She was at Summit as a diamond. I was there as an emerald. Like,
you were a diamond. It was just the wrong week. You were like a week late.
Well, I wasn't a diamond at Summit. I didn't go through the qualification yet. But anyways, you know how that goes. So, like, I know it's been hard for her this year because she obviously had Nolan took her attention, and that affects your business. It's a season of life. You can't deny that. I haven't had a baby distracting me or a pregnant belly distracting me. So obviously I've been really focused on our team, and those things are going to happen, you know, like we're going to hit 2-star this week. And even though like Amy, you didn't make diamond happen like you wanted to, it doesn't mean that you can't do it in January. It doesn't mean you can't put in the work now to make it happen. It doesn't mean Noelle can't go 2-star in January. You guys get to decide how the rest of your story is written. And you get to decide who you give that gift to. Because that smile right there is why Noelle is still here.
He's laughing at me.
Exactly. Because you can work with your kids. Like, what other job lets you do that, you know? So I just wanted to throw that out there because, you know, I mean, our team's not going to hit Premier this year. I could get down and be super pissed and say screw the rest of the year. I'm not going to do that. That doesn't define me. That doesn't define our team.
One thing too, Amy, it's like you gotta master how you can make this business work so that for your team you can show them. And you gotta show them that, like, look, on Monday you didn't get a chance to talk to as many people as you wanted, but on Tuesday you did. You know, developing a system that works for you, and you know, every week trying to be better. I mean, that's what it takes. I mean, that's what Danielle and I had to do. Like, we had to create systems because, you know, we wanted to find a way to duplicate it. You know, you have to find a system that strictly works in your life because the people that you're attracting to your business are you. You know, and they think like you do. They respond like you do. I mean, Danielle and I work really good together because we're very similar. And in many ways we joke, like, I should be on your team, Danielle. Joke about that because we think a lot alike. But there are people on my team who don't get the way I do stuff. And so, but I want for them to develop a system so that, you know, things can be so much easier for them and for their team. So I encourage you to do that and really take these power pockets seriously.
And maybe it's you just writing up a Word document and saying, this is my power pockets. Here's, share it with the team and say, here's what's working for me right now.
Because they could help someone on your team. Totally. Because they could be, it's kind of like those, it's like if you think about education, not everyone learns the same way. Like not everyone's going to understand like a mathematical problem. Well, I guess math, you should. But people aren't going to learn the exact same way. They're not going to like receive it the same way. So if you're giving so many, see? You should be able to do this. Come on, Amy. Come on, create the lesson plan. Exactly. So, get creative and have fun with it,
All right.
Help me out. I have so many different, like, power hours, like, laminated to try out. It's crazy. So.
Just got to tweak and adjust, tweak and adjust.
Exactly. That's what we do every single month. No month is like the last.
Is there anything else we can kind of speak to in the topic of the why? Or the other thing I was going to ask you is, what does success look like for you right now? If you were to say, I'm successful in December, what would you have achieved?
And don't be distracted by rank. Because what were you saying about Rachel? She's a 6-figure 3-star diamond.
Yeah.
So she would have said 6 figures if, $500 a week is her goal or something, that's success to her and her family.
Love that.
I can't see it.
She said SC10 and having 2 challengers start actively coaching.
Yeah.
So
sister.
So you got to look at your day-to-day and see, okay, am I giving value to my challenge group every day? Am I checking in with them, texting every other day or every couple of days, whatever works for them? Am I checking in with them? Am I tracking their progress? Taking that challenger system that Noelle and I created and just implement it. Just try it out for a month and see how it goes with your challengers. The stuff's already there. You can just copy paste it. That's been so vital for me, knowing where my challenges are and to not be afraid to ask them, hey, will you hop on this coaching opportunity call? I think you'd be awesome at it. It makes the process smoother. And I think when you kind of take these little tidbits and you don't have to implement everything tomorrow, but I think the main thing of this call is that let that why drive you. Let that vision drive you and let it constantly evolve and grow. And in return, you will find the people that want the same things when you are more vulnerable and more open in sharing it. Because your why should change. You change. Any closing thoughts, Noelle?
Well, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like everything you said was good.
This is what happens. It's good. It's good, Danielle. Awesome. Well, I appreciate for you hopping on, Amy. It speaks volumes to where you want to go into the next year. And just remember, everything you do right now, it allows you to capitalize on the people that you were in 2017. That's okay. Better late than never. And it speaks volumes that you're on here and giving up that time. So I am proud of you. Congratulations. And I know this is going to be your month to get back in the game, to be better than ever, and you have it in you. Just let that why drive you, and when you don't feel like doing it, shoot me a text and say, hey, why should I do my power hour today? And I'll tell you.
Me too, if you need any help.
Or message Noelle and she'll tell you too. All right? Cool. Well, thanks for hopping on, and you'll see my face soon. See you guys.
Bye.